You're not getting any younger.
My best frenemy, Rebecca, reminded me. She expertly applied the makeup remover, dabbing quickly, the big bulbs of the antique dressing room mirror giving me an instant headache. I felt a bit feverish, to be honest. I'd been hoping Rebecca was going to help me.
Listen, darling. I am a Morgan Lorraine. I have a trust fund, a pedigree. There's always a role for me.
She waved meaningfully with the cotton puff at her dressing room and all its Broadway paraphernalia.
But you, love? You're so...
She floundered. So what? I asked, praying I could trade her dressing room for the cool darkness of the theater's recesses. But hunger knows no pride.
Common. Oh, don't get me wrong, darling. You are gorgeous for sure, but out in Tinseltown, it's a dozen donuts to the dollar.
Rebecca peered close into the mirror.
Wrinkles, crow's feet, old man time, darling. He waits for nobody.
I made no remark, hoping the makeup would remove and we could get out of that dressing room. It was stifling, and the voices everywhere. How could anybody think? Knock, knock. Rebecca's friends Patrick and Veronica were in the door with a bouquet of roses.
You were fantastic.
I was blown away. You're amazing.
Veronica and Patrick conveniently ignored me as if I weren't there. Rebecca, having successfully removed her stage makeup, was slipping into a designer dress and heels.
Veronica! Whatever happened? You're as lame as a Daffy Duck. It's just how Serge gets sometimes.
She said, handing her the roses.
But I got the part.
Rebecca wrinkled her brow, then unwrinkled and brightened up.
They're beautiful. I'll put them in water. Now you two run to the limousine. I need a minute.
Patrick held the door open with great efficiency, and Veronica did an about-face and limped out gingerly. They closed the door behind them just as gingerly, and Rebecca turned to me.
Listen, darling. I have an event tonight, but so do you.
She said, putting a card in my hand.
I've already told Serge to expect you at his suite at 9.
I took the card. Serge? I said. Really?
Oh, come, don't be such a child. He's seen your reel, and he has the perfect part to put your perfect little tush on the map. Now you see that door? I want you to use it. Unless I can always find you a job as a governess or some such. There's really no shame in it.
An hour later, I rode the elevator up looking down at the business card. It read, Serge Weisenhammer, President. Wilkensky Weisenhammer Films. In gilded letters on a heavy cardstock. I looked at my watch. Almost 9. I felt lightheaded. The elevator doors opened and I walked down the hall looking for the royal penthouse suite. At the end of the long hall, I knocked on the gilded door. I stood there, shifting my weight nervously from left heel to right. The expensive shoes Rebecca had insisted I wore were annoying my feet.
Just a second.
A voice from the other side informed.
Be right there.
I continued shifting, and then I stopped as the door opened, revealing an aging man in a hotel bathrobe and slippers. A large cigar sat between yellow teeth. His beady dark eyes took a walk all over me, and then he removed the cigar and smiled with no mirth.
Well, you must be Vanessa.
He said, opening the door wide and gesturing me inside. I stood there nervously. I saw a slight look of impatience cross his face.
Come in. Rebecca told me all about you.
Inside there was a table laid out with a banquet fit for a king. Lobster, champagne, crab legs, sushi.
Sit down.
He said, beckoning to the couch. I moved a cushion aside and sat down. I adjusted my skirt and smiled. It's a pleasure to meet you, Mr. Weisenhammer. I just want to thank you for seeing...
Call me Serge. All my friends do.
He interrupted. Oh, pleasure to meet you, Serge, I said. Serge approached me with 2 champagne flutes outstretched. I received one in my hand. Serge sat down next to me so that his shoulder and arm brushed mine. I readjusted myself back a few inches.
Listen, honey, I saw your reel. I got a part for you in Binkster's next movie. It's a real cherry. I just gotta know, though. I gotta know if you're hungry.
He said, sucking down the entire glass of bubbly in one long pull. Serge got his cigar going again with a gold lighter. He adjusted his bathrobe so that I could see more of his chest. He stared at mine. I shifted a little uneasily.
Well?
He asked. Yes, I want the part, Serge. He frowned.
Yeah, but are you hungry?
Yes, I answered in a soft, anxious voice.
Well, sweetheart, I gotta tell you, it's a crazy night. I'm multitasking all over the place. My masseuse just canceled on me. Why don't we discuss this in the other room? You can give me a nice massage. We could talk about your future.
I looked at his face. It was as if time was dilating. I heard a fly buzz and then land on his champagne flute before absconding. Well, Serge, I don't think I would feel comfortable. Aren't you married? A dark cloud passed over his face. I looked at the door nervously, and then his face grew stormy.
Listen, babe.
He said, coming closer, a wolfish grin crossing his lips.
I can make you a star.
I stood up. Serge, it's been truly an honor meeting you, but I really have to be going. His hot breath covered my face in an instant. How did he move so fast? He grabbed my wrist. I clenched my jaw and put my hand against his chest.
Come on, you know you like it. You just need some discipline. That's how you know I care.
I looked at the door desperately. I didn't know if I could hold out. I was growing so faint. What if someone comes? I whispered. Serge laughed. He knew I wouldn't resist. I felt so weak.
Come on, babe. It's massage time.
I let Serge lead me into the master bedroom. He lay down on the king-size bed.
You better hurry now. I got places to see and people to do.
He said before laughing alone at his own joke. The cigar smoldered in an onyx ashtray. I crawled upon the bed. He lay face down expectantly. I looked into the mirror and felt hollow inside. I couldn't see myself, and I felt the thirsting. I put my hand on his back and felt my fingers tremble.
Damn, your hands are cold.
He complained. And then...
but we'll be getting hot in no time at all.
I moved my hand gently up his spine and let my nails caress his Adam's apple. He shuddered and said,
What are you doing? I told you to massage me.
I leaned in close so my hair brushed his face and kneaded his back muscle. My lips brushed against his ear, and I whispered, "Thanks for inviting me in. It makes it so much easier on a starving artist."
Yeah, I was feeling charitable tonight. I might even be gentle.
"Really?" I said. Then I felt my teeth ache. The bones in my upper jaws trembled and my overbite jutted. "I don't think that'll be on the menu tonight. A girl has to have boundaries after all." I opined before I sank aching fangs deep within the soft flesh of his throat. I smelled orchids as I allowed his blood to fill the eternal void. I remained in that position for many minutes until I was no longer parched. And then I satisfied my true craving. Marrow, a delicacy. I wanted to savor this. "30 minutes later, I was freshly showered, riding the elevator down to the lobby and out into the hot desert air. I had a content feeling in my belly I was mindful of. It's important for an actor to be mindful. Mindful and well-fed. Sometimes Hollywood eats a young girl up. And sometimes she can dine on the Walk of Fame, one star at a time.